What obstacles have prevented peace in the Middle East?
In the first picture, we have before World War II, Palestine. Palestinians at the time had 100% of the land. The next picture, we show after World War II, and the UN makes a second state, which is split half of Palestine. This land was called Jerusalem and was given to Jews to have refuge. For the Jewish people, this was the state to be called Israel, owning 52% and leaving 48% for Palestinians. After the war, 1953 and 1967, Jewish people owned 78% of the land, leaving 22% to Palestinians. After the last war, Palestinians owed 12%, and Israel owned 89%, and they took Jerusalem. This picture right here is the flag of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, led by Yasser Arafat.
So this picture shows the city of Jerusalem and how very close to each other is the Holy Dome of the Rock for the Muslims and the Holy Western Wall for the Jewish people. The Israelis took the city of Jerusalem over and made it its capital, claiming that they were there to keep peace, and the Muslims claim that they're preventing them from getting to their holy area. On August 2nd, 1990, Iraq's dictator Saddam Hussein led his forces in an attack on the state of Kuwait in search of oil to help rebuild his economy after the Iraq and Iran war. Um, the U.S. saw this as a threat to oil production and to its ally Saudi Arabia, which gave the U.S. oil. Um, so the U.S. and about 33 other countries led a coalition force against the dictator. The unwritten rule of this attack was to take Saddam Hussein out of power, because if they left him in power, chances are he would create more conflicts in the Middle East. This unwritten objective failed. They did not take him out of power. After the terrorist attacks on 9/11, the U.S. claimed that Iraq was supporting terrorists and had weapons of mass destruction, so they invaded. In this invasion, they finally accomplished their goal of taking Saddam Hussein out of power. The problem was, after taking over the country and putting in a new military, insurgents from other governments wanted to take over, so continued attacks.
How did the ethnic and religious divisions strain the nations?
Conflicts divide nations. Nationalism led to the creation of many new cultural diverse nations.
War in Sri Lanka. Discrimination and violence from Sinhalese Buddhists against Tamil Hindus led to rebellion. Tamil Tigers fought to establish a separate Tamil homeland through terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare. That has been going on since 1983. This 25-year-old civil war ended after government troops toppled several Tamil strongholds in early 2009.
Divisions in Canada. Many in Quebec wanted to separate themselves, leading to few separates turning violent, although most of them worked within Canada's democratic system to protect their language and culture.
Troubles in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland, the northern portion of the island of Ireland, a part of the United Kingdom that had a long religious conflict, won their independence in 1922 but were still under Britain's control. Minority Catholics wanted civil rights and unification with Ireland, but the Protestants wanted
Russia and its neighbors. Separatists in Chechnya tried to break away from Russian rule in 1944, but were eventually crushed by Russia during their 2 wars and nearly 10 years of fighting. Yugoslavia breaks apart. Once a multi-ethnic country, Yugoslavia was dominated by Serbs after 1991 and was controlled by its Communist Party.
Civil war devastates Bosnia. Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic sent over arms after war erupted during their independence. Bosnian Serbs conducted ethnic cleansing, the killing or forcible removal of people of different ethnicities from an area by aggressors so that only the ethnic group of the aggressors remains, led to the NATO airstrikes. After these air attacks, the rival groups, Bosnian Serbs and the United States, signed the Daytona Accords, ending the war in 1995. The fight for Kosovo. Slobodan Milosevic oppressed Kosovo Albanians in 1989, which resulted in attacks on Serbian targets. The NATO launched air attacks against Serbia in 1999 prior to the Milosevic withdrawing Serbian forces from Kosovo, a province of Serbia with an Albanian ethnic majority that was the site of an ethnic conflict during the 1990s.
Republics break away. The fall of communism led to the government's attempts to persevere the country, but Macedonia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Croatia, and Slovenia gained independence.